Hello, this is Miss Schaefer with NEMS Channel 8. We are reporting live from inside the Constitutional Convention, just on the other side of this door here in Philadelphia at Independence Hall. Delegates are currently meeting as part of the Constitutional Convention. Now, here's a live look outside at Independence Hall, where delegates have been meeting since May. Now, we have not been able to get inside the convention, very exclusive, but what we do know, it's been a very tense few hours here in Philadelphia, on top of an already tense summer indeed. Today, the delegates are set to put forth an agreement regarding representation of slaves and slavery in the Union, something we all know has been a very, very big point of tension throughout the country for some time. And if you remember back just 12 short years ago to the Declaration of Independence written in 1776, the issue of slavery was intentionally left out of that document because leaders like Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin knew that it had the potential to rip apart the newly found United States before it even got off the ground. A year later, the Articles of Confederation were somehow less pressured to mention or address the issue of slavery at all, because it gave so much power to the states that they could make up their own mind regardless of what the new nation had said. Now, here we are once again, attempting to unite a nation forced to face this ugly institution of slavery, knowing very well that it could rip apart this union at the seams. Now, slavery is not the only issue on the table for this summer. We are being told that taxation is also going to be discussed. We will be back later with some more live coverage of the convention. But first, let's get a closer look at what has already happened at the convention this summer here at Independence Hall. Going into Philadelphia in May, all the delegates of the Constitutional Convention agreed on one thing, that a newer, stronger national government needed to be formed. But that was where the agreement stopped, as the specifics of just how strong the government would be and what that new government will look like will likely take the rest of the summer to decide. The first issue, of course, was about representation. If there is going to be three branches of government with an executive, judicial, and legislative, how will the people and states be represented in those branches? Well, we already know that larger and smaller states did disagree, but finally settled on the Great Compromise that formed a two-house Congress, which allowed for equal representation in the Senate and proportional representation based on population in the House of Representatives. But now that that issue was settled just a few short days ago, the delegates must decide who will count towards a state's population. Most states do have slaves, but southern states have a much higher population of slaves because their economies depend mostly on slave labor to operate. In the North, states do not have to rely on slave labor because most of the working population are free men and women. This has created a deep divide among southern and northern states, not only on slavery itself, but also representation and taxation in the form of tariffs. Certainly, slavery is probably not going anywhere anytime soon, but it's very important decisions that involve slavery need to be made this summer. Just how will delegates find common ground so that all states are satisfied with the new government structure? We will shortly have an answer soon.